Hi everyone, Natasha here, and around my home today I am in my office and it is a very cold, wintry end of February day. We're hopefully going to get some warmer temps soon, and so it's time to start setting up my Erin Condren Focused Planner, and I thought I'd bring you along and share with you how I'm going to do that. So welcome to my office. I've laid out some of the supplies I'm going to be using today. So of course I always have my Louise Hay Colors and Numbers book. So I'll have that later on to use for setting up some of my monthly pages. I'm using the Prayerful Planner sticker sheet. I printed it out at 75% and at 50%. So this is 50%. And what I've actually done is cut them out already and stuck them to a sheet protector so that it'll be easy for me to just pull these off and stick them down as I'm going through setting up the planner for March. And you can see the larger sizes, that is the 75%, and the larger dots down here, and then anything that's a little bit smaller is the 50%. I also have some markers, so I did grab a Tombow in 761, which is kind of a nice peachy color. I have two different colors of the Zig Clean Color dot markers. I'm not sure which one I'll be using. I think I'm going to be using more of the brown tones this month because I like how they coordinate with the Prayerful Planner stickers, but I may pull in some of the pinks as well because for me the month of March in the Louise Hay Colors and Numbers system is an 8 month, which means the colors are pink and brown. This Clean Color dot marker is in the color Salmon, and this brown is Fawn. And then of course both of my mild liners in that brown color. I have the brush tip and the chisel tip to use throughout the setup. And of course I usually have some of my supplies like scissors and tweezers, and I also grabbed the shape sticker set from Cloth and Paper. I have these on hand from one of the subscription boxes I tried, and I just thought that light brown color was a good one to go along with the Prayerful Planner sticker sheet. I'm not sure where I'll use those or if I'll use them, but I just pulled them out because the color scheme was a nice combination. And before we get started with setting up, I wanted to show you a couple of updates I've added to my Erin Condren Focused Planner. And if you remember when I shared in my setup for the year, which I'll link that video down below where I showed my whole planner stack and everything, this cover is from One Canoe 2, and I printed it out at home. I just printed it double-sided, so like on one sheet of paper, and then I found a Crayola Super Tips marker that matched that pretty teal color and just filled in all the white areas with that, and took some good old-fashioned contact paper and basically made myself a book cover so that I could have that pretty design. I am also using a One Canoe 2 bullet journal notebook, so this one travels around with me along with my planner, and this is just sort of my catch-all notebook that anytime I need to make some notes or jot down an idea, then I have this notebook to use for that. And I just love the cover of this, but I also wanted it on my planner, and the best way I could come up with doing that is just to print it myself and, like I said, use contact paper to make a cover for it. Now let's flip open to the very inside cover because I want to show you a couple of things. So earlier this year I followed along with Colette Baron Reed's vision board process, and so I did create my vision board on Canva, and I have that stuck to the inside of my planner so I can review that each morning. I think I've shown before that I have this little planning routine page just taped in so I can tip that out as I'm doing my planning. I don't always remember to use it, but sometimes it's nice just to refer back to that. And you saw me set up my cover page here with the Louise Hay Colors and Numbers system with my personal year information on it. And then a few weeks into the year, I realized I still needed somewhere to have a year at a glance. And I had gotten a couple of things in the mail that were freebies because I made a donation. And so what I did is I carefully peeled this back off because I had used some double-sided tape to put it down, and thankfully I was able to get it up. And instead, I took a couple of these pages and stuck them together. So this is stuck to the front cover of the planner. And then I folded it and folded this one and stuck these two together. So this kind of made a page. So I have all my holidays listed here for the year because I don't have that anywhere in this planner since it's an undated planner. And then I also have a year at a glance, and I just measured this because I wanted to have this all on one page on the left, so whatever was left over is what's on the right. And same with this, I just sort of offset them so that I had everything over here all the way to the edge of the page. And then the leftover is what made this little short page in the middle, but that's fine because it kind of makes it easy for me to find. And then I stuck that page back down to the front. So it has added a little bit of bulk to the front of the planner, but this is a flexible vegan leather cover, so I'm not really too worried about it. I feel like that's kind of how my planner goes, is it sort of gets bulked up as the year goes on and I start putting more and more things in it. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip open to March, and you can see I've done just a little bit of setting up ahead of time. I like having that little page marker, and this actually came out of my garden planner setup, out of the planner that I'm using for that, but I don't use that very often, and I liked this page marker that had a ruler and some stencils, so I keep that as my page marker. And then I usually use the ribbons for marking other areas of the planner that I get into pretty often. So I've already gone through and just jotted in the days because I was planning ahead and wanted to note some of the holidays that I wanted to mark down. So I think I'm going to go through and erase those just so that they don't show through my stickers, but that is just with a friction marker that I did that. And then I'm going to be using my Prayerful Planner stickers here to put in the dates. So I'll use these small ones for the month at a glance, and then I'll probably go through and set up the week as well with the larger ones, and then of course use some of these fun stickers and some of my markers just to outline and set everything up. So grab yourself something cozy to drink, grab your planner and markers and stickers, and let's do a little decorating and setting up our planners for March. Okay, I think I have everything set up and decorated, and wanted to go over real quickly a couple of things I adjusted. So I did go through and erase my notes that were in blue, the holidays and Lenten days, and just added them back in my brown friction pen, and I did end up using this in several of the spreads as well. I also added my zone cleaning reminders for the Fly Lady system. So as usual, I have the first week as zone 1. For me, that is the entryway, the dining room, and what we call our hearth room or parlor or front room. It's kind of the more formal spaces of our home that we don't use as often. Second week is going to be the kitchen as usual. I reverse the third and fourth week based on the Fly Lady's regular system, and so the third week for me will be zone 3, which is my master bedroom suite. Fourth week will be my daughter's room, and if I have time, sometimes I work in the basement. And then the fifth week will be the living room, and that is our family space that does get used more often, but it's just the one room and there's a guest bathroom there. So those are my zone cleaning days added. Now I want to go through and show you the rest of the layout and spreads. So here I just used some stickers. I think this actually came from a set from the Dollar Tree that I've had for a long time. I've added my personal month information that came from the Louise Hay Colors and Numbers system. And I decided that I like having my quote and affirmation for the month over here in this little box. So I did that again. I could have probably squeezed it here, but I wanted to make it a little more substantial. And of course, just added some more stickers from the Prayerful Planners sticker collection. And then I still have my sections for home, business, and personal tasks for the month. And this just becomes an overflow. I am going to go ahead and add my little circle task box dots here. So when I check things off, I just use the little circles to check it off. And I love these Zig Clean Color dot markers for that reason, because it's real easy to make task boxes. And this is where I use the friction pen in that brown color, and this is an 07 tip. And then we go into the weeks, and so we have the first week of the month. I did use this pink. I'm not crazy about this color, but I know the other one is much lighter and it's almost fluorescent, so I just stuck with this. I think it does pull out a little bit of the pink that's in some of the stickers. So we have the first week of March, and then I added my titles over here for my errands and my contacts. And I loved adding a little sticker here just to cover up that notes label. It just seemed to be the easiest and quickest way to do that. And I went through and set up every week coming up in the month of March. So those are all set and ready to go, and I can just add in my tasks as I'm planning for the week, and of course any appointments as they come up. And I do want to go back through, and I went ahead and went all the way through to the end of the month. You can see I changed up a little bit how I did some of the labeling, and I went ahead and did these days even though these are April. So April for me will be a 9 month, which means it's pastel colors. So I'm just going to use the stickers for the month labels whenever I get those at the end of March. I think for now I will go ahead and add the dates just so I can remember what they are. So this will be the last week of March, which will then go into the first week of April. And of course I always have my friction pen with the 4 colors that usually just stays clipped onto my planner there. And then like I mentioned, I was saying earlier, I changed up a little bit how I was doing the label over the day of the week. So for a while I was doing it this way. I think in the end I kind of like this, where it makes the circle stand out a little bit more. Okay, and then one other thing I wanted to show you is I mentioned last month when I was setting up my planner that January and February had an extra weekly spread that I didn't have a plan for. And I decided for the month of February that I wanted to use that page as a monthly reflections page or a monthly reflections spread. So I added in some ideas for things that I want to journal about, my top 5 achievements, distractions and fears, what can I do to improve, what or who inspired me, what did I learn, how did my wins make me feel, and then what I'm reading, watching, and loving. And of course, there's still room for a little bit more journaling. So I won't have this spread in March because March has 5 full weeks and I'll need all of them for the calendar layouts. But it's nice just to have it the few months that I'll have the space for it. I'll go ahead and put that in there. And of course, I do still have the blank one that's at the end of January. So if I want to use this for March, I could always go back and just label this as my March monthly reflections. So I think I will add February here, even though this is within February. It might be nice just to note that that is February. So that is how my planner setup has gone so far. I do want to do a little bit of planning in here while I'm thinking of it with you, and a couple of things that I know are on our family calendar that I don't want to forget. And I think I'm going to use, I like using my friction pen. So let me go grab the one that's in the color that I'm looking for, just a moment. Okay, this is the other friction 3-color pen that I keep on hand, and what I've done is put the .38 tip colors in here that I use. So I have the blue loaded with pastel blue, and then the red is actually loaded with kind of a mauve raspberry shade. So I'm going to use that to mark my daughter's spring break, which is, I believe, this week here. I'm trying to think if I have it noted. Yes. So this week will be spring break, which means no school. So that's just good for me to remember when I'm planning out my work schedule for the week and trying to make sure we have everything taken care of, and if I need childcare, to get that worked out for the week. And then I'm going to flip back to my birthdays list and look at March. So I have a couple of birthdays in March, so I'm going to write those. And then I have a trip I'll be going on for my brother's birthday. He turned 40, and so we're celebrating that with a little sibling trip. So okay, I think that's everything that's coming to mind that's extra that I want to remember. I am going to go ahead and add in my family tasks. So we do trash. And I think I'm going to do what I did last month, which I ended up using one of the Zig Clean Color dot markers as a little task box for the trash to the road, just to remind me, and it always feels good to check it off when it's done so that I can remember I did get that taken care of for the week. And I keep some of my Jordan Essentials business plans on here as well. So on the 15th, I'll want to make sure that I've earned green by 15, and that just means I've had 500 in sales up to that point. And I think I'm actually going to use my green pen for that. So I just erased. I love those friction pens because they erase. Anyway, if I sell 500 in sales by the 15th of the month, then I earn the next month's Joyful Jordan box for free, and I get to order it early, which I love doing. So I like to keep that on my radar as something that I want to make sure I do. And I think I will go ahead and write in my work schedule for the month of March. And my daughter has PSR on Wednesday nights. The next thing I'm going to add is my trainings with Jordan Essentials, and I am going to add a little task box again, just because if I happen to miss it, then I can always go back and watch a replay. So I like to make sure that I've noted that I have watched it in either live or in the replay. Okay, I think that is a good start on just the basic plans and the things I know ahead of time that I want to make sure are in my planner. And like I said, I think everything else I'll just add as I'm approaching the week. So that'll be something I do off camera. But I appreciate you joining me today. I hope that seeing how I set up my Erin Condren Undated Focused Planner is helpful and gives you some ideas. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. and I will list all of the materials that I used in the description of this video. If you like my planning videos, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.